Good evening, guys. Welcome back to my channel again. I'm Tasos. Welcome to my less known channel. Here we just talk manga, anime, movies that are coming out or maybe have already come out because I like also reviewing retro stuff here. You know, retro is kind of my thing, so figures. Sorry about that. It'll stop momentarily. It's Marcade One Up playing Mortal Kombat 2. So I have some pickups. I have some manga and a real nice book that I like to show you. Last time I showed you, I think at least that I did, showed you my pickups, showing you my Tomie, Junji Ito's horror uh, anthology. You can't really talk about it, describing it as a novel because it's a book like that big and has multiple stories in it. Um, and I'll when I finish it, because I'm more than halfway deep in there, I'll actually make a review. I'll gladly make a review out of it. At least, not exactly a review. I'll be glad to talk about it, how I felt about it, reading it, how much fun I had reading it, and we'll start off with manga. And I'm proud to say that I've already completed the first part, Phantom Blood of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So I started collecting these ones fairly recently. I happened upon this one first, and in the beginning, I didn't even know. I saw a book. Uh, I'm not that knowledgeable, so I thought, yeah, maybe all the story of Phantom Blood is in there. And if you're like me and have only watched like the anime, uh, you gotta hand it to me because Phantom Blood moved way too fast in the anime. We're like way too fast. And even though it establishes, one of the biggest villains in JoJo, and does many things, that basically set the basis for what's to come next. I wasn't really a big fan of the anime version, the animated version of Phantom Blood. I actually thought it was moving a little bit too fast, that the main character was bland and too much of just simple goody two shoes. But so far, because I haven't finished the entire thing, I have to tell you this, that the pacing is a lot different in the manga, and that's a thing, that's the common story, the common factor with all the anime versus manga that I witnessed so far, that the pacing is different, and it's a lot better in this one. It's still like two goody issues, Jonathan. Yeah, but I don't know, the pacing helps, and the charismatic villain always helps. So having a better pacing in which you get to establish the characters more in your minds, and you get used to them more, and you get to go through more pages with them. The more you stay with them, the more you get to either relate to their stories, um, or maybe you grow fonder of them. You grow fond of them. So yeah, the pacing is different when I finish it, because there's only one part remaining that I haven't read, and it's the third part, is the final part, and they look really cool. I mean, look at Dio. Look at Dio. What a disgusting fella, by the way. One of the most charismatic villains ever, and a really hated villain. Um, and if you hate the villain, if the villain makes you hate them enough, then there must be doing something right. Look at this one, shows like one of the supporting characters, but a very important one in the book, Zeppeli, and one of the secondary antagonists, like a knight called Blue Ford. Great stuff. So I got the entire thing of that, and uh, me getting like the next one, Battle Tendency, will be a lot harder because there are more more tomes of that. So I don't know if I'll be able to find that. I found an application, like an actual website where you can order these, but um, I'm not really sure what they really have because trying to search like simple early Dragon Ball stuff was really hard. So I don't know about that. I'll try though. I'll try to get whatever I can. And the second one, which is really nice, and I hoped I could have showcased it in my other channel. It's the NES Encyclopedia, every game released for the Nintendo Entertainment System by Chris Scullion. And let me tell you something, I absolutely love this one. Again, I'm not far too deep into it. You can see the bookmark over here. And it has a basic catalog of each and every game released, at least the official releases. And it also covers an extra 160 unofficial titles. The guy who wrote this, Chris Scullion, is a Scottish gaming journalist and speaks the language of a gamer. Like when you read his words, you understand he's a guy that might have been that kid in the playground with you 30 years ago that happens to have this obscure game on the NES library that you don't really know of. And that's exactly what he does. He also covers lesser known titles, like sometimes giving details that you wouldn't know existed, covering it with puns and stuff, not a wooden language like strictly journalism guy would use. This is a gamer doing this. So I found like its price to be very endearing. Like I paid, and I quote as a proper Englishman, it's barely 20 quid, this one. It's like $29.95, but barely 20 pounds. And I got it like for 23, 24 euros here in Greece. So I absolutely love it. I have reached the part where, I basically read about Castlevania, and it covers it like it almost uses like a full page for Castlevania, talking about Castlevania. Also, in the beginning, it gives like the humble beginnings of the Famicom turning into NES and all the difficulties that came with it. It shows a very nice picture of how the NES tried to look like the first time it attempted to cross the seas and go to the US, which failed because at the time there was a video game crash and people looked at it like weird. They didn't want to deal with another video game console. And it's an amazing photo because their first attempt going overseas, they attempted to make the NES look as something that they have an idea it might succeed. But I don't want to get too much into that because somebody might want to take a look at that and buy the book, which I would tell you, like, go ahead out on a whim and buy it. Amazing read so far. It also covers, like, in the early parts, in the early pages, the author's first touch with the NES as a 4-year-old, and that was really heartwarming to read these lines. And also, it covers like another journalist's first touch with the actual console and how it blew his mind. Those are really nice things to read in a book like that. So yeah, I'm down to it. Like, if you enjoy stuff like that and you want to get, I'm so happy with that. I already ordered from the same author, the Super Nintendo one. Yeah, amazing stuff. Other books like that, probably the most well-known is Pat Contry's NES, like, full catalog. I think it also covers, like, not just games, but peripherals as well. But I don't know if it's worth it. Like, it's like, nothing against the guy, but $175 sounds more than a stretch for me. Like, this is a fraction of that price, and it's an incredible read. So, if you don't want to pay too much money, there's another version of that with hard binding, which costs maybe $2 or $3 more. But I take good care of these, so I don't mind. I think it's really cool. And again, I'm so happy with it that I've already ordered the Super Nintendo one. And if there's others like that, I'd gladly buy them. So yeah, that were my pickups. Those were my pickups for this past week. It hasn't been like a week that I got those. Like in the coming days, I'll probably be able to receive like the SNES Encyclopedia, the book. If I happen to find any other uh, issues like tomes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I'll try to get that. And when I get to finish the whole thing, because like it's 2 out of 3 now, only this one remains, I'll gladly make a review on it, which is like so far it's very interesting. And I'll say that right off the bat, I enjoy it so far more than the animated version, which is it's to be expected, really. Like the same thing practically almost happened with Dragon Ball. I have like the Piccolo saga of early Dragon Ball, and even there the pacing was different, and some things were handled better, and some things made more sense a little bit. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but for the most part, at least Dragon Ball was animated in such a way that when the fights came in, you would want to see the animated version more. So yeah, it's a more win and lose situation. If you want the action, go for the animated series, and then if you're in for the plot and you still want to see some really cool looking images and the source material how it was supposed to be before it got animated, you gotta go for the manga version. I still think like even the Dragon Ball one was handled like better in the manga, but that could just be me. I don't know. Like plot wise, it made more sense. But anyways, yeah, there were little things. So there were little things. Anyways, I'm not gonna go too deep into that because I'll never stop talking. So if you have any suggestions, you want to see something next, or if you want to see me cover something relating to these things that I'm picking up, I'll gladly do that. Until then, keep it safe, stay retro, and whatever. Rock on. See you next time. Bye.